When life takes a troubling turn, artists usually have a creative way to vent their feelings. Artist Linda Schneider-Granitstein can pick up her paintbrushes and find support in the world of dance. Her passion for the arts has given her a successful career and a way to cope in a world that's not always picture perfect. When artist Linda Schneider-Granitstein made collages during a recent painful period, she included images of dancers, a tribute to friends who had always encouraged her. Dancers have starred in her artwork through the years, but that wasn't her original intention. She did not have a large series of dancer pieces in mind the day she asked to observe a ballet rehearsal in 2001.
I asked politely, respectfully, could I draw a bit while they're in rehearsal? And I was given such a warm response. Of course you can draw in rehearsal, and this is where you should be.
Her hope that day was merely to find female models. Schneider-Granitstein, whose other passion is psychology, enjoys depicting the female form and exploring the woman's psyche. But observing the dancers gave her a focus she hadn't expected.
I began to be so attracted to the inner strength of these young women, their professionalism and their kindness and their receptiveness to me. And I felt that I was warming towards them in a way that I began to embrace not only them as women, but them as dancers.
She bases her artwork on photos and sketches she makes during rehearsals at Les Grands Ballets Canadiens de Montréal. She calls dancers her ideal models.
They are highly disciplined. They respond to direction unbelievably, not like you or I or a person on the street in another field. But your head is up. I don't know how you did it.
Oh, the last thing I did? This one here?
Yeah. They listen to a choreographer, they watch his movements, they incorporate what he or she wants them to do, and they become that gesture, that movement. It's magical to watch.
The painter says she enjoys seeing rehearsals and relaxation.
Well, there's always a feeling of camaraderie wherever they go because they're so joyful, but there's an intenseness because they're learning, they're rehearsing, they're listening to the choreographer, and I'm there witnessing this in all its intensity and the relaxation that has to go hand in hand. Work hard, focus, follow the choreographer, do what he or she wants to the best of your ability, and then just let it out. Relax, talk to your friends, have your lunch, take a breath. This is what I love to depict in my paintings.
As she gained the trust of the ballet company, she received a backstage pass.
Being backstage is like being in a shadow world where all kinds of mysterious things go on to prepare the dancers to go on stage. They want to keep warm before they go on the stage, and they come in and they're in this state of covered up. And slowly, as you see them letting go of the layers, their costumes appear, their leggings come off, the shawls come off, they straighten up, they go to the bar, they're doing their stretching, their exercises, they become the queen, the princess, the ballerina. It's all in front of me, before my eyes. And this is what I wanted to capture. The transition between the resting time, the expectant time, to that moment where they fly onto stage.
Many times, the dancers waiting backstage support their friends on stage. This piece depicts such a moment.
They all had their heads leaning towards the stage itself. So the light was shining onto them. The side of the back of the stage was dark, where I was dark. Everybody was grouping themselves in this little area. There were 6 dancers, there were 10, there were some on the floor, there were some standing. I took pictures. I took pictures as fast as I could, with no flash, of course. And I took as many as I could to capture that moment because it was a painting already designed. The composition was there. There was no thinking whatsoever. This painting painted itself for me right in front of my eyes. It's touching for me to see these very professional young adults who are so caring of each other, despite a competitiveness that they must feel because they're not all picked for all roles, and yet they are incredibly supportive of each other. This is a lesson in life. It's a microcosm of what an ideal world should be. They are all supporting each other with enthusiasm. They care. They're caring about their fellow dancers on the stage. Are they going to do this right? We're rooting for you. We're there for you.
Schneider-Granatstein has invited dancer Alicia Pobega to her studio to pose for paintings.
All the ballerinas that I work with are like my children. Alicia is one of them. And she has a presence that is genuine and theatrical at the same time. She has a joie de vivre and a sparkle in her eye and a way of posing for me that says, woman. And I want to convey this feeling of womanness in its fullness.
We're so accustomed to being with dancers, and we see dance in such a specific way, and it's very refreshing to see how she sees dancers and how she admires them. And it could just be a moment. We don't necessarily have to be dancing. It's just an everyday kind of a dancer feeling that she tries to capture, and I think that's really lovely to go outside of our box and see it from her perspective.
Another one of the many dancers that I so enjoy working with is Sarah. Sarah, when I first saw her in the green room, was lying on a black couch looking like a princess with this beautiful skin and blonde hair and this wonderful regalness about her. And I saw a gentleness in her, a soft-spokenness in her, and a beauty that I wanted to paint. And I have made many paintings of her because she has inspired in me that sense of peacefulness. I like to write on my paintings, and sometimes it's not always legible, nor is it meant to be. But in this painting I wrote, sometimes we build a life like pieces of a puzzle, but the pieces are mixed up. And Sarah, of course, is representing me, as in fact all the dancers and models do.
She does incorporate so many different elements from her life and elements from my life as a dancer or other dancers.
In some ways, all my models represent some parts of myself because I'm talking about my life.
When the artist's life moved in a difficult direction in 2004, she found comfort in paintings and dancers.
And I was going through a divorce. And I decided to make a series of paintings that allowed me to express myself. And in fact, these paintings became to me quite beautiful. They were not ugly paintings, as much like the one you see here. They're vibrant, full of life. I think that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to get out of my sadness and embrace the good things that I had had. The teacups represent my children, my 3 beautiful children. The lily pond below is a symbol of my reflection. I was thinking that I wanted to be somewhere beautiful. The ballet is figured in this painting as well, near the picture. It's actually a photograph of a rehearsal on stage. And I took a picture of that and put it in this painting because the ballet was very supportive of me and so kind. The nudes of myself looking much younger than I really am had to do with the fact that I felt so young, so vulnerable, and I had so much to learn, and I felt exposed. For me to be able to express myself during this difficult period of a divorce was like a gift, because I made these paintings for me only. I did not make them for galleries. I made them to express parts of me that needed to come out. I felt good doing it. And how lucky are we as artists, am I as an artist, to be able to have this very therapeutic tool, this very cathartic tool, to put something down and say, that's done.
Schneider-Granitstein also paints landscapes and still lifes, but she says she'll keep interpreting dancers whenever the ballet world beckons. Schneider-Granitstein's paintings of backstage have actually been seen on stage. The Montreal company Dada Danse has used her paintings as projected backdrops during ballet performances. You'll find her artwork in galleries in Toronto and all over Quebec, including Gallery West End in Montreal. To learn more about Linda Schneider-Granitstein, her website is lindasg.ca.